I've had sex with 35 guys.
Whew. Oh, Lord.
So if I'm judged for
Anybody else need a shot of this?
If I'm judged for having great taste.
Woo.
I pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Lightweight, she really not even a real fucker. You telling me Brittany Renner only has 35 bodies? Is actually like embarrassing.
You wasn't out here getting no dick for real. Like what?
35 and you 31? Come on. People not putting that in context. Like if you're 31, went to university or lived in a big city, you started fucking around 18, 17, 18, 19.
Let me do my boy math real quick.
Okay, let's do some boy math.
Let me do my boy math.
She got 1,000 bodies.
Bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me pull out the chalkboard on y'all.
You're a real fucker. Hold on.
It's a red flag.
I feel like if you can escape, I feel like escape is always the more reasonable stance.
Yeah, because I'm never finna be like, who's there? Man, it's yours. You got it. I'm gonna call the police to come handle that. I'm down the street.
Even if you have a firearm, your firearm is supposed to be like last resort. Like you're not supposed to be like running and gunning like motherfuckers thinking they're John Wick is how people get shot
going
with their
down the
own
hallway
shit.
and shit. Yeah.
Like you're like that. That's not real life, man. Like that's not what you do.
No, that's right.
But with that being said, welcome to Waving the Red Flag, the #1 home security and dinner hosting podcast in the world, the universe, everywhere. This is Alvin.
Sponsored by NRA. It's Eddie.
Sponsored by the NRA. Sponsored by Killer Mike. They call him NRA Youngboy.
Yeah. Killer Mike and Martha Stewart. That's what we do.
Killer Mike, Martha Stewart, Gilbert Arenas. I know Eddie doesn't get that joke, but it was hilarious.
Okay. I sure don't.
Yeah.
But you got gun rights and dinner parties. I've been thinking about
look up guns and look up Gilbert Arenas after this, and you will be like, okay, that was actually pretty good. But so I'm Alvin.
Oh, okay.
That is Edward. He's now looking up Gilbert Arenas. He's reliving some phenomenal mid 2000s basketball drama. Josh is off this evening due to some technical difficulties in the midst of restoring internet access to a small village in Honduras.
Always helpful, man. That motherfucker is helpful. He always getting roped into just helping the community, Yeah,
he's basically Batman. He just like goes where he's needed, that type shit.
It doesn't hurt that it's some baddies in Honduras, so I think he's burning it from both ends, if you know what I'm saying.
Just like Batman, that's exactly what Bruce Wayne would do.
Yeah. Get a little cat pussy,
We can talk about social media reacts to Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift dating, but my take is mostly that I just don't give a fuck. I could actually have a very long rant about why I feel like nobody should give a fuck. Like I think the Taylor Swift mania is so manufactured in this case because like you read the articles about major publications now hiring Taylor Swift reporters and Beyonce reporters, right? So I feel like it's
Oh, no, I've not read. I don't read articles, so I haven't read those articles.
There are major publications. The one that I'm thinking of in particular, I want to say it's the Washington Post, that are like, we now have Taylor Swift reporters.
Like a Beyonce correspondent. Like they're there to report on this one person.
They are there to track on what Taylor Swift is doing. There's one that tracks to what Beyonce is doing. And I feel like this is a part of that like machine, the mainstream media machine, to kind of make good on like these kind of investments. Because I mean, like honestly, who really cares, man?
I really don't give a fuck. Yeah, that's to be honest. I think it's a funny little 2-second meme of like, oh, look what his lineup looked like when he was with a black woman, and look that he's like with Taylor Swift now and she's a billion. I think that's a funny little couple of tweets. And then
that should have lasted one Sunday, man. That shit should have lasted one
half
Sunday.
A day.
I shouldn't still be talking about this. And like, people are like, oh my God, she's gonna be at the Jets game. She's traveling. And I'm like,
there's something about the whole parasocial relationship, that thing. Hey, what's good? You back from Honduras, my boy?
Man, I tell you, back from the depths of despair.
Yeah,
Lord
man.
have mercy.
We told the people that you was giving people internet access down in Honduras.
When I had to give myself internet access first before I could help other people. So
help yourself.
You can't pour from an empty cup, man. That's a
fact.
Rule,
Hey, me and Eddie already went through this. You know what I'm saying? My cup's never been empty. How can I do
my
such
internet
a thing
access stays clean? Bandwidth bandit is what they call me. All right,
exactly.
Bandwidth body.
Pretty good.
I steal from myself and give to myself. I don't fuck with nobody else. You know what I mean?
Come on, cabron. It's fucking
but it's like
it's the Godfather.
But like my thing is, and I'm not shitting on people that like follow celebrities or anything like that. Like I've been we've all been caught up in like celebrity drama before. Like I'm not above that. I just think it's weird that like Taylor Swift attending a football game in the box is now like getting greater headlines than like the game itself now. You know what I mean? Like nobody's talking about the game. Nobody's talking about how good the game between the Jets and the Chiefs is going to be. People are talking about, man, Taylor Swift's going to be at the game in the box with the Kelce's mom. Oh my God!
I think you can't be mad at that. If the game isn't able to generate as much interest as the brand that Taylor Swift has cultivated, then play better basketball or whatever the fuck it is. Like I don't know.
Man, it's the most popular. It's the sport that owns a day of the week. So again, I know we have an international audience. Yeah. American football owns a day of the week
in America.
Which day is it?
Sunday.
Is it Monday?
It owns a day of the week. Like there are literal like events that don't happen on Sunday because people are at home watching football.
It's not church. True. Okay.
I was even having that conversation before. There are literal churches that have adapted around the football schedule.
Oh shit! Yeah. We got to get you home in time.
The impetus behind sunrise services was people could go to church and then make it home in time enough to catch that first game. You know, in case church like bled over a little bit, especially because black churches don't really have like a set schedule. So
man, that should be so long. Oh man.
So you had a sunrise service, right? You coming in at 8, you gonna make the 1 o'clock game at that point. So
that's why I can't believe people go to church for that long. What are they saying? Like I remember going as like a kid, and it's like, bro, this is half a day of like random activities and listening to somebody talk. I can't do this. What is this?
Bro, they passing that collection plate. They praising Jesus. They dancing. They got the praise dancers. It's going down at the church. You know what I'm saying?
I actually agree, Josh. So like that's actually my thought on church. I think older generations of black people, that was their social outlet, right? So I'm thinking back to like scenes from like The Color Purple, when like it wasn't socially acceptable in the eyes of like the holy rollers to be at the juke joint, right? So instead of getting that social fix and like that dance and that singing that they kind of wanted from a juke joint perspective, they would just get it in church. So like church was their social outlet. So they'd go there and they'd spend as much time as they wanted because that was the closest thing, in the eyes of
what you want. Because I always felt like I couldn't leave like that, and that's what's like even a club or a bar where I can't leave would also be excruciating.
That's actually a pretty good point,
bro. Like, see, a while ago, one of my homeboys told me he went to this church up in Philadelphia, right? He was in there for like a hot ass minute, like you were saying, like it was like a morning service, and then like a couple hours went by. He was like, "Okay, good people, we gonna adjourn." He was like, "Oh man, thank God, I can finally leave." Then it said, "All right, we'll see y'all right back in 30 minutes for the afternoon prayer." That nigga stood up and said, "Oh hell no, and walked clean out."
Yeah, no. But see, that seems like a paper bag situation where it's like, look, there's an intermission. We know half y'all not gonna come back afterward. That's what I assume that's for, so that you don't have to go hell no. You can just go. Look, you can leave peacefully at this point if you don't want to, and the people who want to stay can stay. That's what I would have assumed, because I would have been clean gone. I would not have been back for the second act of God. I got
the second act.
I got the main information that I needed already.
Just no New Testament. Old Testament.
Right.
Yeah.
I was trying to think
that's
of
my God.
I
want to see the violence, and I want to see famine. I want to see locusts.
Fire,
action,
brimstone. That's the part I made it to. Not the gentle one.
This gentle shit is boring. I don't know. All the gentle parenting God in the second act of the Bible is just, it's not, I don't like it. Give me the fire, the brimstone, the belt. You know what I'm saying? Spare the rod, spoil the child type vibes. That's what I want. But yeah, I don't
spoil
know.
The child and get the rod. I don't know.
Hold on, pause.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, see, pause on that. I didn't even think that was true. I was like, because my thought, I got to clarify that one, because that's crazy.
Hey, yo.
I was thinking, like, yo, it spoiled the child and also beat their ass at the same time.
Yeah.
But that's not any better either, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it look, between the two awful things, it actually is better. So, like, which is wild. You managed to make like that the better situation.
I know, right?
Between the two. So I don't know. Can we talk about Brittany Renner real quick?
Oh
no, it's all good. What we was talking about before was Matt Bourne. We was talking about Taylor Swift, which is just, I mean, it's cool, but like, I don't know. It's just not a lot of meat on those bones to me.
But that motherfucker looks like a goddamn. He looks like he just pulls up and says license and registration. But anyway,
with the mustache, especially like
it
when he had the
depends.
beard, less so. Yeah, when he was
He looked
the
kind of
beard,
black. He looked black coated before. Now he looks like coated.
absolutely, like it's disgusting. He looked like a state trooper.
Yeah,
Like, no shade, but you know, I don't trust him anymore. I'll tell you that much.
It's a wild mustache choice. That's a very wild mustache choice. Not gonna lie. Yeah. But yeah,
it's like everybody can't pull off just a mustache. Like that is a very special individual.
No.
If
They can
pull
work
off-
though. It's
I've
a lot of
seen it
dudes
work. I've
doing the
definitely
just
seen it work.
mustache with the 5 o'clock shadow. Like it's not clean.
Actually, yes,
like
yes,
the
that's
5
the
o'clock
new
shadow
look
with the
now.
mustache is a look. People,
That's a look now.
bitches love that shit. I
Yeah,
wish I
but
could.
It's still
man,
you have something accompanying just
that's
that
true.
mustache.
It's
you know
not
what
a
I'm
clean
saying?
mustache. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Because that's artsy. With this is like I have a band.
Yeah, and if
That's
you're
the
gonna
new I
have
have
like a
a band.
mustache like that, you gotta have that motherfucker curled up so people know what type of
It's
time
like-
you're on.
Exactly. It's like I have a Michelin star. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
retain the star. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Wait,
I'm
curled
artsy.
up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like with
I
the
don't think they doing curl like
They
the,
do be
the
doing
Salvador
that, bro.
Dali
Yeah.
shit. I don't think
Yeah.
they're
They
doing
do
that.
be
They're doing
that,
that.
bro. They be
Absolutely.
doing that, bro.
Oh,
They
that's
be
seen them
doing
on
that.
YouTube with it last night.
Damn. How old are they? That's corny to me. I think
Around
that's
our age.
weird. Yeah, you're right. There's not much meat on the Brittany Renner shit. I just wanted to say how stupid I think it is that even was like lightweight Black Twitter news at all. Because it's like lightweight. She really not even a real fucker. Like you telling me Brittany Renner only has 35 bodies is actually like embarrassing.
You wasn't out here
It's
getting
wild.
no dick for real. Like what?
It's
Because her
that's-
whole
so-
her whole brand is like I'm an internet hoe. Like
Well-
intentionally or unintentionally, that's what that's what her brand has been. Fucking basketball players and celebrities and being on low level hoe podcasts and talking about this is what I do. I get down 35 and you 31. Come on,
So
basically a virgin.
Yes, I agree with you that like Shannon Sharp even reacting to the number how he reacted is kind of ridiculous because
Right.
that's
It's
not a lot.
silly.
That's not a lot. But also to your point, the fact that the conversation is one that people even feel like they need to bring up and discuss in 2023, in my opinion, is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, who gives a fuck? But if we want to talk to the audience that does give a fuck, that is a very low number. So who really gives a fuck? Who really
Yeah.
has anything to say? Like,
felt like
based on
engagement forming.
you never should have asked the question anyway. Now that you've asked the question, like you now have no leg to stand on. She's not a real.
To be
fucker.
fair,
Is-
she did
is
volunteer
wild.
Yeah, she ain't a real eater like that.
To be fair, though, she did volunteer it, and I do think that there are numbers that can be interesting. 35 is not an interesting number. 100 is not really an interesting number. 200 is like, okay, that's a conversational number. But once you get into the like thousands, now it's like we have something to talk about because that's like it's like if somebody says, I work out every so often, I go to the gym. Cool. But if you say, yo, I bench 500 pounds, I don't know if is that possible. That's a possible number,
Yeah,
right?
you
I
can
bench
bench
500
500,
pounds.
right? There are people
Then
who
it's
bench
like-
more, but
Right.
it's
Okay.
hard.
If I bench 700, it's like, okay, cool. That's a conversation. Like that's an interesting thing. So if you fuck,
Yeah, that's like, oh,
if you're
shit,
like,
you're a strong
I'm
man.
31 and I fuck 2,000 men. Okay, I'm interested. How did you manage that? How did you rack that up? How did you
I'm
find enough men?
interested. You've got my
That's
attention
curious.
now.
You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention because that's something. So I don't
This
like.
nigga said,
I
this
get where
nigga
you.
said, how did you find enough men? How did you?
No,
Right.
because how do you?
How did you find enough men? How did you find the time? There are a lot of questions that will come with that.
What's
though.
your calendar
You gotta
look
admit
like?
that.
I'm just saying.
Because Like I get where you're coming from. Like
out of the 120 million adult males in the United States, how did you find 1,000?
How did you find 1,000 that was willing participants?
No, because like I'm asking that question from the reverse. I'm not saying like, how did you find enough men who were willing to have sex with a woman? That's easy. Everybody knows that. How did you find 1,000 men available to you that you wanted to fuck too? I think that's a lot harder. And I know we've had this conversation about women's picking, blah, blah, blah. I think for the average woman, I don't think finding 1,000, like I don't think if you gave the average woman a decade, she could find and bag 1,000 men that she genuinely wanted to have sex with.
I disagree when you're talking about
okay, maybe not 10 years, but
quote unquote upper echelon women, right? So like,
oh, that's easy.
So like you got to think about the fact.
Okay,
yeah. So you got to think about the fact that like if she's considered like extremely attractive, which by most accounts, Brittany
I'm
Renner
assuming that
is,
she's
right?
not, but okay. I'm talking about an average person, but yeah, Brittany Renner, you're right. She's very attractive. So yeah, fair.
Yeah, so like she's gonna be picking of the top 1%, which means like if she has her pick of the top 1%, she probably can find 1,000 that she would very easily like find attractive enough to.
Okay, Brittany Renner, yes, but also she's famous. I think famous and fine together. Okay, I agree. But the average
let me do
woman,
my boy math real quick.
Okay, let's do some boy math.
Let me do my boy math.
But she got 1,000 bodies,
bro. You know what I'm saying? Let me pull out the chalkboard on y'all.
Yeah, real fucker. Hold on.
If this motherfucker brought out a whiteboard off screen and just pulled out a fucking like dry erase board, I would fucking lose my shit.
Why
you better be lucky I ain't got it on standby because I got one in this bitch. But nah, okay, so check this out, right? Eddie said 1,000 bodies, a decade, 10 years. It's 365 days in 1 year, my nigga. Okay. If she found one different dude to fuck per day, 365 bodies in a whole year, that's just one body per day. Over 3 years, she would have well met her quota.
Okay. Interesting boy math. What I would like to like push back there is I don't think that a woman could do that like every day. She could get a dick, but I don't think a woman could find a man to fuck that she is interested in fucking every single day.
So you look.
That also assumes that you have to be interested in him to fuck him, which I 100% disagree with.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like if you're going, look, I just fucked 1,000 men who I wasn't interested in, I don't find attractive. At that point, that's something different. That's another. That's not pleasurable sex. That's not sex positivity.
Nah,
I let 1,000 men fuck me essentially and use my body for pleasure.
But you started off the whole premise with just period off of body count. What's interesting? Oh my God, like 1,000 bodies. Like how did you have sex with 1,000 people? Like
okay, yeah.
That was the premise. So,
I'm saying I think it's interesting in both ways because either you found 1,000 men who you were interested in, which I would go, how did you do that? Or you had sex with several hundred people that you weren't interested in, which to me, I think is unhealthy. So then man or woman. So then I would go, okay, that's interesting as well because that's a mental health concern,
that's
or
fair,
something,
bro. Like,
or something.
Bro, like,
or something.
Think about a prostitute.
Yeah, it's a different word, but like, cause I've been there. Everybody been there. Like a lot of whole phase casual sex stuff is like, this is something is off. You're trying to heal some wound with sex, and you end up just having a bunch of sex that you don't really enjoy. You're not engaged with. Feels empty. Blah blah blah.
Which does happen. I do also think that like we do need to recognize that there are people that just have sex because they enjoy sex.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The thing that I would point out, and this comes up like, I'm thinking, orgasm gap kind of situations where like it's probably definitively less pleasurable if you're having that many partners over and over again as a woman that has sex with men, because the orgasm gap is so wide that you're probably not having like good sex every time you have it. But I do think there's a desire for lots of sex that, for whatever reason, Eddie just seems to completely disregard when we have these kind of conversations. But
because sex and sexual partners are different things. But like,
that's fair.
To your point, like, would a woman want to have sex every single day for 10 years? Sure, plenty, of course. A different nigga that's not gonna make them nut every single day for 365 days straight. Something is off, probably.
Which I think is a fair like line of logic to pull the thread at, because again, like repeated interactions, in my opinion, like just judging like myself, makes for, like you can learn each other a little bit better. Like it's probably going to get better if the guy cares at all. In regards to his performance, it's probably going to get better, over time. So like if you have to restart that cycle every single time, you're probably going to have like less pleasurable sex over,
and there's
that
probably
time.
some psychological problem that's going on there. If you're going, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're having new bad dick every day, there's some trauma, there's something that's trying to be treated.
Absolutely. I mean, something is
off
there. Something is a little
probably.
bit off there,
As to Alvin's point, there's people who have different kind of kinks and shit like that. But 9 times out of 10,
absolutely. Because I'm also just thinking about hell. I mean, just even like legit prostitutes. Some of them just do it for the sport and the money, of course. But some
that's a
people
different
really,
thing.
like I'm gonna say, people just fuck for the love of the game, baby.
Okay, yeah.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
and all
Like,
of that's interesting. Oh, that's all fascinating.
Exactly. So let's just pull it back and let's just get back to it, and then on to something else. Because I know we don't want to, there's not much meat on the Brittany Renner thing, but I just wanted to say though,
Yeah,
I honestly
there
don't
was-
believe. Honestly, don't believe just
You think she's
35.
lying that the number's higher? You think?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit higher.
Yeah.
I just don't believe it. Not even like because 30. I mean, one, I
35
don't
is
believe it.
regular. Yeah.
I would say like maybe it's like double. Like I feel like she's not counting some dicks. I think like doing girl math on the body count, which is cool. That's fine, baby.
I get it. I
You know
get
what
it.
I'm
I get
saying?
it.
Shoot.
You got to round down on
You
that.
found out he was ugly, goddamn today. I thought, oh no, that one
don't
ain't
count.
count. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
cool.
those are not billable hoe hours. I get it. I understand. Take it off the
fine.
ledger. I get it.
But yeah, I just think the overall moment was just to be sensational, make a viral moment, which it did, because like you said, Alvin said, Shannon Sharp's whole reaction was just blown out of fucking proportion.
It was
at
it
35.
seemed like and people were saying like, oh, he's an old dude, so like in his days those numbers were. But to me, it actually just came across as corny. Like y'all are both faking. Like you said a number that was way too low. Shannon Sharp had this cartoonish thing that we knew was gonna get Black Twitter shade room, spiritual word, going to buzz. And it's like a new meme. It was basically that Kevin. They were trying to replicate that Kevin Hart 47 damn or whatever it was like meme, and it's just corny because it's 35, and then he did this cartoonish like minstrel bug-eyed thing, and I don't know. It's just stupid to me. But my last thing say again.
I said, love Uncle Shay Shay though.
He's fucking hilarious. I don't even know what he does. He's like a sports commentator or something, right?
This motherfucker has only known about him from fucking Brittany Renner Club Shay Shay interviews.
I have no idea what the fuck I just see him say funny shit.
7-time Pro Bowler, 2-time Super Bowl
bowling.
champion,
Stats.
Hall of Fame tight end Shannon Sharp, and he's like,
Professional bowling. I didn't even know that
he's
was
like, he's on Shade Room, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
man,
that's
I
all-
see,
He's one of the
I see
contributors.
this nigga on
correct?
Say Cheese all the time, right?
That's
Not
all I
say
know.
cheese. Yo, that's hilarious.
all of his. But
Sorry, that shit's fucking hilarious, bro.
but the last thing that I say on the Brittany Renner thing is, I think 35 is like people not putting that in context. Like if you're 31 and you went
You
to
probably
university
started-
or lived in a big city, you started fucking around 18, 17,
The
18, 19.
average is 16, according to Planned
Okay.
Parenthood, because I looked it up. Average is 16 to 17 years old.
Yeah. So you start in
that's-
high school, you fucking and stuff. You go to university, so you might maybe already have 1 or 2 bodies by the time you're going to college. In college, every year, if you're not keeping a boyfriend, it's easy to rack up 3 or 4 through each year, and then the summer's added in there. You have a couple of girls trips. Even if you stop
it's
hoeing for a
normal.
few boyfriends in there,
It's a
35 is
normal
like
number.
very
It's
like that's middle of
It's
the that's
a
middle of the pack.
normal
Yes,
number.
I don't
So,
even want to
while
just say
I'm saying-
normal, because normal is to say it's not like it's not fuck. What's the word for like when something is bad for your health? What's the word I'm looking for?
Maladaptive? No.
No, that is maleficent. I don't know. It's not bad, and so it's normal in the regard of like, oh yeah, cool. Like it's normal, but I'm also saying it's average. Like it's in the
Yes.
middle of the pack and it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think that's a better way, because like it's
and
also people out there who don't have there's many people out there who don't have a body count of like 30 something, but at the end of the day, who
that's
the fuck-
normal
who
too,
gives
like,
a fuck?
And,
Yeah.
and that's ultimately what I wanted to say, Josh. I want to say that we keep talking about this, and we're using words like, oh, this is normal, oh, this is average, and all this kind of stuff. I also want to just bring it home to like, who the fuck cares? You know what I mean? Like, I get Eddie's point. Like, you know, like the extremes. Okay, cool. You know, that's an interesting. You know,
I understand why you're making the
coffee.
point that you're making. So
and I understand why you're making the point that you're making. There's an interesting coffee table, like, you know, conversation that can be had, like at the extremes. Like, I get it, especially if you're coming at it from, you know, like curiosity and not like malicious intent and not trying to do like some.
Which is rarely the case.
Whole shaming. You know what I mean? It's usually coming. It's usually sensationalized, and it gets the clicks that it does because people are quote unquote whole shaming. Exactly.
Look at these bitches.
And Brittany Renner's a target of that, like, quite frequently. So I do want to say that while we're throwing around words that kind of make it seem like there is a bad and there is an abnormal in, you know, in the normal range of that kind of stuff that doesn't involve mental health issue. I also want to say that the conversation is also just largely stupid. Like, the conversation is never, you know, on these type of podcasts, like, had from a place of positive intent or just curiosity. It's usually done on some red pill manosphere kind of bullshit, and I think we need to move past that. So I'm very happy that we have all taken that stance, and we can also, like, admit that, like, hey man, there's some curiosity if it's a high number. Like, we can have that kind of as like a cool kind of coffee table kind of conversation.
What's going on over there? But yeah, facts. Agreed.
Honestly, don't even want to know your woman's body count or my girl's body. Well, what the fuck am I doing with that information? Like, I don't want to know.
It's not useful. Cool. Yeah, I mean, like I said, 35. Look, if you fuck 35 people, you're in your 30s, and I don't know any of them, you're essentially a virgin. Like, that's literally don't mean anything. Like, wine,
no,
whatever.
The cadence this nigga just read that into. I thought he was closing the episode out.
Yeah, right.
Let me tell you.
No,
if you've only had 35 partners, and I don't know,
it might be you.
I don't know. You gotta remember that, nigga. You might have to close this bitch out. No, that's not a red flag.
You might be waving a green one.
Oh shit, for real, you might be waving a green flag. Oh shit.
All right, yeah. Where do we go from here?
There was something that I saw, like, just in when they was talking about the concept of fumbling a baddie, and it was
the best of us.
I know, right, but it was like two. It was like two aspects of it, right? Like, because, you know, you have for one, I wanted to ask, have y'all ever, like, fumbled a baddie, and then two, they just, like, a lot of times people will see, like, a very beautiful woman, like, yo, you had a chance with her, or y'all dated, and then, like, y'all broke up, like, oh, nigga, you fumbled. It's like, bro, like, y'all not even paying attention to the type of person she might have been.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you just looking at her aesthetic, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't fumble her. I put her down. She was dismissed from the company.
Yeah,
that was not a fumble.
Yeah,
that was a pass. Yeah. Get on out of here.
You know, you scored a touchdown and you spiked the ball, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Yeah.
Hard.
Hole in one.
Home run. Yes.
Home run.
Yeah.
Running it right against the backboard, all right? Right to the rim. Basketball right over there.
Slam dunk.
Yeah.
You know.
Triple stock out, baby.
I'll tell you, but I got back with her and did a triple double. I don't know.
Yeah, we go.
Have y'all yeah.
Definitely. And it mostly, because I'm trying to think back of, like, well, what constitutes a baddie? Because there's baddie to me, and then there's, like, I know there's a free market baddie. You know what I mean? Like, it's the difference between, like, because, okay, so a baddie to me means I really, really think that you're hot, but I know nobody else is really checking for you, like, at the same level, you know?
Oh my fucking
so you're like
God, bro.
You're a baddie for my personal taste. And that's different.
That is fair and balanced. I will tell you that, my friend. I like that you have that sort of self-awareness.
He's like, I need to find this magical unicorn that I want, but nobody else wants, so that she can be all mine. Right. Is what this niggas.
Oh, that too. But, like,
your pathology is very consistent. Very consistent.
But that's not the only thing, because also, because my pathology continues to a level of cognitive dissonance, because I'm like, but damn, also don't nobody else want my bitch. So this don't even, like, she not even serving half the function of a girlfriend, which is just to make me look good. So, like, now I gotta, how do I make it, how do I have both, that everybody wants her but don't nobody want her? That's not really possible. So the free market baddie is just, this person is fine to me. But also there's the reverse. And I've had a couple of those where I'm like, I know everybody else is checking for this person. Like, she's considered, like, very, very conventionally attractive, but I'm, like, kind of lukewarm on it. So I'm like, and that's not healthy either, or like not sustainable either. But free market is, I think she's fine, and I know that other people think that she's fine. Case in point, or sorry, like to make a long story short, I fumbled all versions. I fucked up those relationships across all three of those categories. Yeah,
absolutely.
Various.
You're in good company.
Various bullshit. Yeah.
I'm very much so in good company.
Okay, you too. What's the last fumbling that falls outside of the statute of limitations?
Man, bro, it was one time in college, right? I was like real cool with this one girl, right? And like I think kind of had like some mutual interests, like we flirted, here and there, whatever. There was one night at this party, I just kind of like worked up the courage like to kiss her, right? And everything went well. It's like, it was reciprocated. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So now that in my mind, like this is, now that the physical touch aspect has been established, I'm like, cool. Yeah. All right. So
he's like, I'm gonna turn my swag on and all this shit.
Yeah, hopped up out the bed on her, took a look in the mirror
You're
and said,
so in there, bro. You're so in there.
He's so in it. He's so in.
You got first base, man. You know what that means.
Oh yeah. But check this out though, right?
I can just imagine his thoughts of like, okay, look, since we've established she's down for like some smooching, you know what that means.
Oh yeah.
It's only a matter of time, baby.
I know. If she's down for kissing, she's down for sticking. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
But after that, it was a thing, like probably like over the next couple months where we would hang out and then like we would just kind of find ourselves alone together. And then like, we would kind of like make out, whatever. And there was a couple times where this happened, right? And it was always like, oh, no, I can't, like it's a weekday, I got to work in the morning. It was always like something. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, no problem. So there was one time my homegirl hit me up because we had a mutual friend. And she was like, yo, what you doing tonight? Oh yeah, man, why don't you come through? Like, I'm here with such and such. Yeah, come to the crib. No, we chilling. I'm like, all right, bet. So I get ready. And as soon as I walk out the door, like I think about grabbing a condom. I was like, man, fuck it, I ain't gonna need it.
Oh, damn.
Cause I was like, shit, I mean, hell, ain't nothing gonna happen tonight. It was just gonna be another night of kicking it,
Yeah.
So I get over there, make a long story short, everything cool. And then my homegirl, our homegirl, she goes into her room, and then me and the girl are, in a very familiar situation, just on the couch. Lo and behold, I don't know. I don't even remember like how it exactly happened, but we started making out, and then we went back to her room. Wait, you and the
original girl?
It's only been one girl. Like it's a home girl.
Oh, okay, my fault. I got confused. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm with you, Josh. I'm with
okay,
you.
Thank you.
One of us has been paying attention.
Yes.
Sorry. I got bad reading comprehension.
It's all good. So yeah, we ended up going. Jesus Christ. We ended up going back to her room, and lo and behold, there's like not a stop sign or like no, like I have work anymore. Like there's nothing like stopping whatever is going on. So now I start panicking because I know good and damn well I ain't got no condom in my pocket. And I'm just trying to, I'm like, like just going through all the motions, the kissing and da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And,
like, you're not going to stop me? Like,
it's just progressing, right? You're not going to stop. It's just progressing. It just keeps progressing.
But we won't stop though. Oh, come on, stop me.
And it got so to the point where like, I'm like, okay, like, damn, the clothes are off. I'm trying to think of where I can get a condom from. Well, maybe she's got a condom. Maybe she's got some condoms in the drawer. Yeah. Like, maybe the homegirl got some condoms. Okay, cool. Yes. I'm a stall because I can't stop now. It's too late. So just to stall a little bit more, I went down and, went, took a trip downtown because I'm an eater. You know what I'm saying? And I just remember, bro, because I'm still thinking, like, what the fuck? Where am I going to get the condom from? Like, I ain't got one. So I finally get done. And then my coolest yet voice that I could muster, swaggiest, coolest voice that I could muster in this situation was, I said, you got a condom on you?
That's good. That's good.
I know. Gave light skin eyes and everything while he was doing it.
Oh man, Oh
was
man,
quiet storm. I like that.
Yeah, I tell you, it was awful. But yeah, I tell you, she was like, the look on her face was like, oh, no, I don't. And yeah, from there it was just it's pretty much downhill from there. Try to ask the homegirl. She was like, nah, I ain't got nothing. I was like, well, I could go back to, I can go now to the gas station real quick, get some. She's like, nah, don't even worry about it. It's cool. It's all right.
Damn,
nigga,
man, you
Damn.
look, man,
bro.
you gotta swallow your pride a little bit, man. Was this an apartment complex? Because I would have knocked on the door next door.
Oh man,
Yeah.
it was.
It'd have been
Bro,
door
it
to
was
door
too
spying.
late.
That shit,
It was
when I was in fucking undergrad, that shit used to happen at least once a night. Like on like the weekends, like somebody be like, hey man,
what do you?
hey man, I'm in a bad way, man. I'm in a bad way. You got a condom on you?
I'm in a bad way. Man, I didn't even have the courage for that. It was after like 12 too. I probably got shot. But nigga, when I tell you that was the longest, quietest drive back home ever.
Damn.
I ain't even had no music playing. I was just like, God damn.
But see, that would piss me off because I'm like, do you even really? Because I guess I'm wondering, or what's emotionally confusing to me, put myself in that situation is what, like, you don't want me? Like, why is she not at, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
What you mean?
like if she's okay, because I've been in a similar situation where it was like, we started. I was like, it was a roommate, and we kind of got to doing stuff or whatever. I'm saying roommate, but like I was just staying in her house that she owned, but we were fooling around and stuff, and at one point I was just like, okay, cool, we can't go further because we don't have condoms. I wasn't stressed about it. Like we did some hand stuff, we did some whatever, and the next day after she got groceries, she just put a box of condoms on the counter, like, what's up, and I was like, cool. So like in my mind, I'm thinking like, if we both down, me not having condoms is not like some embarrassing shit for me. It's like you also trying to do this. So
that's
like,
what I'm saying. And it's like
we will revisit another day or like whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Or 15 minutes later after I like
hit
the fucking gas station.
Right.
See,
and I can understand it fucking up the mood. Like maybe like, okay, cool. If you go grab those, I kind of already nutted off the head. Like I'm good to go to bed. But I would think you're not curious about what this dick can do?
You're not curious about what this dick can do?
Come on.
But see, that's the thing about it though, because with my own psychosis, I really got in my own way after that. I made it way like, you know what I'm saying? Because
that's where the fumble happened.
Nigga, I didn't talk to that girl for about another year or so after that, bro. Like I was so ashamed, nigga. Like, yes.
That's where the fumble really happened. Okay.
Absolutely.
Been there.
This nigga was just so ashamed.
Yeah, been there. Now I'm trying to think. The biggest fumble I think I've made is just being myself too, without any proper like filters around the baddie. Because she was like free market, just like properly very attractive. Anybody who sees this person would think this is a very attractive kind of a woman, but not the most like. Not the most studied person you ever met.
She was the baddest. You was the realest.
Because we got into.
That's pretty good, Josh.
What is that from? Is that from the Joker?
Nicki Minaj.
Oh,
no.
okay, yeah.
What? The Joker? What the fuck?
People
the Joker,
did
Harley
use it
Quinn.
with that meme. People did use that with the meme with the fucking.
We were in some social situation, and she said some shit that was like stupid. You know what I mean? Like just wrong, like just not correct, or some shit about the number of states there were, or who the president currently was, or just something like that. And instead of pivoting the conversation or being like, "Oh, I think it's this," I just decided to fucking go in for no reason. And she kept trying to fucking like be like, oh well, I'm not sure this thing, and I was just like, because I think I was a little bit drunk at the time too, so I don't know what I think in my head I was trying to like show off, like I really don't even need, like it was really just misogyny, like lightweight, like she was saying something dumb, but I think I was also trying to prove something. So I was just like laying in like, no, that's wrong. Like, and just really.
This nigga with a dry martini in his hand and they're at a fucking art exhibit. And he's like, how dare you, you simpleton. Like,
exactly.
Fucking cretin.
It was basically that scene from Good Will Hunting. And I was that like asshole dude with the ponytail. And like, Ben Affleck was the girl essentially.
I'm just having fun with my new friend, that's all.
But we could have a problem?
No, there's no problem here. I was just hoping you might give me some insight into the evolution of the market economy in the southern colonies. My contention is that prior to the
Like I was just like referencing, just being a fucking asshole. And so at one point she goes, I need to go to the bathroom. She ain't never come back, bro. And I'm at the table with a bunch of other people like, she gonna be back. She was not.
They always come back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Her drink just getting warm, ice cubes melted, it's half water, and I'm like, nah, shit, you know what I'm saying. I step out into the hall to call her. Blocked. Like,
immediately. Oh, wait.
So yeah.
Oh my God, bro! I got another story, but that's for another time. That's a little off topic.
Okay, is it okay? All right, you sure?
Yeah, that's another. Yeah, because like it's like a more of a yeah. I'll save it for another time. Just remind me.
Cool. Alvin, you ever fumbled a baddie?
I
know you have.
I would say no.
Okay.
What else did we expect? What else did we expect?
No, it's mostly because as
I said I know the answer, and he was like, I would say that I have not.
Absolutely not.
She might disagree though.
No, what I would say is, as I frequently say, I have pretty consistently, been able to like punch above my weight with who I've dated. I think that I've always found myself in better situations. So I wouldn't say I fumbled anything if like I found like a more compatible partner, somebody who fits with my life a lot better, somebody who I'm more attracted to. So I don't think I fumbled anybody because I think I've consistently moved up into the right, and I think I always land in like the right place. So I don't really look back in current state on anybody and just be like, oh, I fumbled on that situation. I'm like, okay, that was cool for who I was. Now where I'm at now is so much better and I'm so much more fulfilled. So I don't consider anything a fumble. Like I think I'm fine, and I think I've consistently been able to make those good steps over the course of my life.
That is definitely some boy math, bro. If you like, you added an extra step in there where
I agree. It's some boy math, but that's how I feel. So
yeah,
like,
okay.
Boy math is what it is. Like, boy math and be mathing over here, but like my boy math is my boy math. So I don't think I fumbled if I like for example, I don't. If you trade me to the Chiefs from the Jets, like I did.
That's not what.
Like more boy math.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Fumbling doesn't mean okay. Fumbling doesn't mean fumbled yourself necessarily into a worse situation. You can keep failing or like getting fired from places and then getting rehired at better places and kind of like fail up. You're still failing. So if you're fumbling up, but it's not fumbling. If you lose a partner that you were attracted to because of some behavior that you, looking back at it, know you probably shouldn't have done, even if you end up on your feet or in a better situation, you still fumbled a baddie.
I completely disagree. Like I don't consider, like, for example, I don't consider losing in the realm of like failing up, for example. Like I don't consider losing a bad job and finding a good job a fumble. Like I didn't lose. I think fumble is a loss, right? So that's how I think of it, right? When you say you fumble, you lost something. I didn't lose
let's
anything.
redefine it for the purposes of
I had a net positive gain in that situation. So no, I don't think I did. And again, we can reframe it however you want.
Yeah.
But
So
fumble means
reframing
you
it to like
lost the ball. That's what fumble means. So I didn't lose the ball if I still dunked. You can't dunk without a ball.
Back to that what we were saying at the very beginning of this. That just goes back to what we were saying at the very beginning. I don't know.
Which is what?
Which is the concept of fumbling a baddie. Like sometimes like no nigga. I didn't fumble her. Like I let that go. I put that bitch down. Like
that's not fumbling. I agree. That's not fumbling. But if you,
it's the same concept. It's the same concept.
No,
I didn't fumble it. No.
If you chose to leave a woman who was attractive, that's not fumbling. If you got dumped or the relationship degraded because of some negative behavior that you had, that's fumbling regardless of what. Okay, actually, let's not get back into the semantic shit. Let's not get back into the
if you want to put it in that semantics, then I haven't fumbled. Like no, I've never lost a relationship that I wasn't like fine losing. That I didn't even intentionally degrade. Like cool.
See, now that's interesting.
That context, boom, no fumble.
Okay, cool. So we're not talking about the same thing. Cool, fair. So my question is just like you've talked about on the podcast things that I would have categorized as fumbling. Like you talked about,
and I know
I'm
exactly
wondering
what you
that
mean.
is.
But if you also recall, like how I ended those conversations, where I end with like, "I'm great." You know what I mean? So like, I ultimately end up with what I just said. So that is like, play the tape back. Like, yeah.
God damn, this nigga.
That's
what,
enhanced
God,
phrase.
that's his catchphrase. He
Glad
will
for the
never be
jury
right.
defended that.
I'm very consistent. I'm always right because I can pinpoint
Like
the exact
60%
moments.
of the time, you're not right.
I can pinpoint the exact moments that you would pull up to have these conversations because I know exactly what you mean because I know exactly what I refer to when I have those conversations about those kinds of things.
I believe
and
you,
I ultimately end up at the exact same place. So like I've had conversations about like, you know, situations in the past and I'm like, cool, I'm in a better place. I'm happy. She's in a better place. Like that is what it is. So like I don't even think about it anymore. Like that's not even something that registers.
But I'm talking
which is why I just said
not about the semantic disagreement we had about what the word fumbling means. Again, as I've said many times on many different kinds of conversations, just toss the word out and talk about the concept, which is a relationship degrading as a result of some behavior that maybe looking back on it, you realize wasn't the ideal choice, regardless of whether or not you ended up in a good situation. So again, toss the phrase that we're using to describe these things out and just the concept.
Yeah, and
does that still fall into that?
Yeah, but like when you even look at that situation, that was an intentional choice I made. I just regretted the choice. Like it wasn't like I did something that like I intentionally, you know, unintentionally. Like it wasn't like this ended because like, oh, I did something, you know, like I fucked up or whatever. It was like I made a conscious choice to do it, and then I regretted how like I handled that. It wasn't, and then like I think that's different than like somebody left me because like I fumbled or whatever. That's two different things, right?
What?
No.
Am I tripping?
No.
Joshua,
Yeah, buddy. Oh no, because I'm hearing you. I'm really hearing you now. No.
Let me explain what I'm saying. Let me explain what I'm saying. Right? Let me explain what I'm saying.
I didn't fuck up. I intentionally made the wrong choice that I didn't. That I wish I had.
This is what you said. You said if you got dumped, if the relationship degraded, that's fumbling, right? So in those situations that I described, I did not get dumped. The situation did not degrade because of something that I did. I intentionally made a decision to end it. I intentionally made a decision that impacted the relationship. I knew how it was going to impact the relationship, and I made that decision. So like I ended that.
But you regret.
So like that's not the same.
Regret?
At the time, for a limited period of time, yes. And I no longer do because
okay, but at the time, we can just. Why did you regret it?
I regretted it because it was something that I felt was childish and juvenile. Like it was something that I felt, on my part.
Yeah, buddy, that sounds like
Is this
just
your
a little
wallet?
bit of yep, okay.
And also,
you might have fumbled the ball, but you picked it back up.
And also with that
you held on to
specifically,
possession.
right? No, with that situation specifically. So I was with that one. I was talking about a specific question, right? Because he was talking about things I've talked about in the past on this particular podcast. I wouldn't consider that situation a baddie. I wouldn't consider that situation something that was conventionally considered to be a baddie by that situation anyway. So that wasn't even a conversation that I would consider applying that logic to because that's not what that was.
Yeah, it's just a new conversation, I suppose, which is about like
it was a new conversation about something that, and it was something about I said about what you call it. But again, I wouldn't even put that in that same category.
Yeah, okay, man, that's interesting.
Two different conversations.
It's not, but okay. Fair enough.
It's two different. So for example, let me put that into context, right? Let me put that into context. And let me ask somebody not Eddie. So I would say if you ask most men have every woman they dated been a baddie, most men would say no.
No. Absolutely not.
No, exactly. So if we're having a conversation about fumbling baddies, and I said that like,
but this ain't even what I was talking about. Like that's not the element that I was pushing back at
I've
all.
consistently moved up and to the right. Then that doesn't apply. And if I'm saying specifically like I made a conscious decision to do that, I don't necessarily think that's a fumble. Like people don't fumble intentionally. Like even if you do something that you regret, it's not a fumble if you do it intentionally. A fumble is something that is a mistake. In the moment.
An intentional decision that you regret is a mistake, nigga. That's the synonyms. What the fuck is you talking about, bro? That's what that word means. Like,
I mean,
all right. No, like for
it's wild.
There's nuance to that situation that you're completely ignoring, right? So for example, like when people like and there are definitely like sports conversations, right? Like if you there are times when like a running back like scores a touchdown when he should have like downed it at the 1, right? Like, so he probably, you know what I mean? Like, that's something, because based on like a clock management kind of situation, right? You down it at the 1, you run the clock out, you win the game, as opposed to scoring the touchdown. You give him the ball back, you do this kind of thing. Like, he probably like that might have been a mistake, but that's not the same thing as like a fumble. Like making a mistake in like a fumbling, or
might
like
be
two
getting
different
cut
things.
up on the sports metaphor more than.
So that was part of the plan. Like, he just wanted to daze and confuse you with all the sports analogies, because he know you don't know what that shit means. You go down it on the 1, but you almost got the first down, and it's not the touchdown.
He really started with like, let me clarify some things for Eddie, and then just proceeded to say the most convoluted example that he knew I wouldn't understand any of.
To be fair, that was a very convoluted example. Like, I can't even lie to you on that one, because it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I completely understand what I'm saying, and I understand that there's nuance between like a fumble, like because basically the concept that I'm getting caught up in is like, you're saying a fumble is like, I was broken up with and that didn't happen. So I think that's my issue. And I think there are situations that you can execute.
Like, you could fumble a baddie and you be the one who broke, because I think I'm trying to expand it far beyond like the strict idea of like how of a person's relationship with a football. Like, I'm trying to expand it to like a general conversation about dating, which is making bad decisions that cause the dissolving of a relationship that we otherwise would have, looking back at it nearer to the time, gone, I wish I hadn't have done that at the time. Like, sure, we all, I mean, because I'm not going to say, because that would be like me saying nothing bad has ever happened in my life, because for the most part, I've always moved on to something better, which would be true in my life. But I would never say nothing bad has happened in my life.
I would say that's not always true in my life. You know what I mean? So like, I definitely think they're a bad thing. You know,
it's a different example.
I'm in a fine place now, but there are definitely things that have impacted me to a point that like I didn't recover. But I get what you're saying. Like, your metaphor, I think, holds in that response.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, okay. we can, you know, whatever we
It's been too long since we've had one of these back and forths, I tell you.
We're close to the end though, but you know, so I don't know.
Yeah, something close to the end. I mean, y'all niggas ain't got none. Y'all niggas ain't got none. Y'all ain't got a quick little He ain't got a quick little thought.
You lead the charge.
I don't know.
First of all, I've never. I mean, we can talk about, you know, who's really in charge here. Like, this is a facade. This is all for show. This is all for kicks and giggles. We're fully aware.
You see the shadow in the back of the room. He's the one directing traffic. He is the one they're all afraid of. He's pulling the shots. He is the most dangerous. He's the one that's King Slime. King Slime.
That's right, Alvin.
Look, there's movie stars and there's directors. Those are two different roles. That's all.
You just proved the point with that metaphor. Thank you.
Yes.
Exactly.
So take it away, Denzel.
Denzel also directs now, motherfucker. I saw Antoine Fisher.
True. That is true. You know? Antoine Fisher was fucking good.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. He did direct that, didn't he?
He did direct that.
That shit is good. That shit was fucking good.
Did he direct Fences?
Maybe,
I'm like,
that movie was incredible.
I'm like 60% sure, and I realize that's not very sure.
No, your 60 is pretty good, because he did direct the shit. Denzel Washington, right there.
Nice. Okay, well, there's time for one more topic. We're gonna close this bitch out.
If it's a quick one, or else we can close it out, because we are at an hour. Like, if it's a very quick one, or
okay, okay, we can read mean boy math tweets, because we kind of been like alluding to it, just to get off some funny last minute giggles.
Yeah, it's crazy because boys never get to. I feel like every time girls do a trend and then boys kind of hop on it, it just immediately turns into some fuck shit. Like, it never gets like, oh, boys are just doing some cute shit, you know?
No, it was because boys was doing dumb shit with it.
I know.
Like,
I know why.
It was like, girls was joking. It was clearly all in fun.
And they were like, you bitches dumb as hell. That plane ticket not free. Like, what?
It's like, why are y'all so mad?
Fuck,
goddamn, man. Let niggas enjoy shit. Damn.
Yo, niggas can't let women enjoy not a damn thing.
That is true.
So I understand
because it was very clearly a joke.
Yeah,
it was very clearly a joke, and it was also like
men do the same. We do the same shit. Like, everybody in general has like silly personal finance mistakes that they make. Like, you took out a line of credit to get like a fucking new kit for your car, and you don't have a job. We all do stupid math. Like, it's fine.
Yeah. And also the girl math thing also just flowed naturally from like other like big like trends that were clearly jokes. Like girl dinner was like, like it clearly was a progression of like that whole like
Just throwing a can of tuna on top of some bananas, like, oh fuck it, I guess.
And they couldn't even let them have that.
They definitely couldn't let them have girl
You
dinner.
bitches don't know how to cook. See, this is what wrong with.
Oh man, niggas just try to
modern
hijack it.
females.
Like they just changed the sound of it, but it was like boy dinner. Like
yeah.
Oh, that's actually funny.
I mean, that's actually. So I actually had a boy dinner.
This fucking Paul Robeson, like old man river ass, what he just pulled out to do this shit was hilarious. Nobody liked mine, man, and I thought it was funny. Like I pulled a boy math tweet out, and I just knew that shit was gonna do numbers, and like did absolutely nothing, bro.
Don't you hate that?
Oh shit.
Yeah. I was like, fuck, this gonna do numbers. Like I remember,
What was
I was
it?
like the Nas section from One Mic where he was like, Jesus died at age 33. That's 32 shots from twin Glocks at 16 apiece. That's 32, which means one of my guns was holding 17. 27 hit your crew, 6 winning to you. I was like, fuck, man, boy math.
The math
One
right
like,
there.
one like,
one mic.
One mic, one like. There we go.
I got one. Boy math is wanting 0 kids, but having 0 condoms on hand.
It's wild. It's wild to me how like loose niggas are with penis. Like they just whoever will have me, who will give this penis a home. Please, ma'am, it's freezing out here. They don't put on a coat or nothing.
Yeah, man. And with that, if you find yourself not being able to let women enjoy things and have their jokes online, you might be waving a red flag. But at the same time, if you're 31 and have I'm not even going to
and have one mic when Jesus died at 33.
And you only got 35 bodies.
Yeah, I love how we just mix that up. We just combine like 8 things together. Yeah,
and if it's a 4 and 1 on the touchdown,
yeah, man,
that's
yeah,
boy
man.
math.
Like if you down the ball at the 1 when you should have scored the touchdown, you might be seeing a red flag. And again, this is waving the red flag, the number 1 bad sports metaphor, bad semantics podcast in the world. Make sure you check us out on wherever podcasts are found. Apple, Spotify, all of that good stuff. Make sure that you're checking us out on YouTube. Make sure that you are subscribing to the Patreon, following the Twitter, following the Instagram, TikTok got us. Like everything. I do everything.
Yeah, hell yeah. Get the bonus episode, Spotify, Patreon, YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Join the community. Bonus episode every week.
Yeah. Every person that joins help Josh, just give
another
village in Honduras internet access.
He makes another bad bitch in Honduras, make sure that her lights stay on. All right. And that's important.
And I would also just like to say that with each donation, you better believe that not only will they have stable, reliable internet, but they'll also have bidets, douches, and feminine products across every home.
You're getting too public healthy with that one. They might expect us to give a donation
like that.
if you went a little bit too hard with that one.
Yeah, we might. They might be like, they said they were helping.
They said they was helping. I thought they would have called bullshit at douches because I thought that was like, mathematically proven to fuck up the vagina rather than help it.
But then you said feminine hygiene products. They're like, oh, that sounds like harm reduction to me. I don't know.
I know.
FD, they not helping the community like they're supposed to. Oh, shit.
Shit.
They're asking for receipts.
Sexual health education. Oh, goddamn.
Man, look, I spent that shit on McDonald's.
Yeah, the GoFundMe gone.
Goddamn right. I have been funded. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining.
Peace.
Thank you all for being here.
Peace. Skirt.
It's a red flag.